There are some accessories for the Pocket 3 that make using it significantly better if you're creating content, especially for social media. In fact, I've been using this so much, 7 of the last 10 videos on my YouTube channel have been filmed almost entirely on the Pocket 3, and some of these accessories really have become essential to my workflow. The accessory that I've been asked the most about is this selfie stick and this tripod. Of course, all of this stuff is going to be linked in the description. But using this selfie stick and the tripod, I can essentially just set this anywhere, get great shots of myself as I'm walking through a scene or wandering through a space, or even just making it easier to hold the Pocket 3. This selfie stick has been fantastic. It's the Insta360 invisible selfie stick from the Insta360 X series of cameras. And then this tripod is the Zhiyun tripod from one of their gimbals. They'll both be linked down in the description. Not very expensive, but gives you a lot of versatility. Now, this works well on calm, windless days. I wouldn't trust this to hold anything up if there's a significant amount of wind, unless you put some rocks or something to weigh the tripod down so that it can't get blown over. If you try and do it without it, you're likely going to break your Pocket 3 because it'll definitely get blown over by the wind. But for getting some shots that look like somebody else is holding the gimbal, having it track you through a space, or even just a static shot that's a little higher up off the ground, this has been an essential combo for me, whether it's just being held like this, fairly short, or if I'm extending it all the way up to make a, much higher shot, a more eye level-esque shot. This selfie stick and tripod have been fantastic. And by far, the thing that I've been asked the most about on my channel in any of my Pocket 3 videos. The next accessory you're going to need is micro SD cards, and I have a couple of different options for you. I love using this SanDisk series, which is great. They're inexpensive. 128 gigabytes gives you a lot of record time. I think about 2 hours if you're shooting in 4K 60, which is fantastic. I've been using this in drones for years, and they have been fantastic. Very good. I haven't had any issues with them or anything like that. But I do have another option that I've been using for the last year and a half or so, and it's by Angelbird. And the reason I use it is this. This is a UHS Type 2 card, which means it has double the connections on the back. And while that doesn't affect you being able to record to the card, it does give you an offload speed of footage about twice as fast. Now, they are more expensive, but in my opinion, if you're offloading footage twice as fast, it definitely makes it worth the effort, in my opinion, because you save quite a bit of time. Now, these cards, like I said, I've been using for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, and they've been fantastic, rock solid. Angelbird cards are something I've been using for a while in a lot of different cameras, including when I do shoots with Red and my FX6, things like that. They're a very good company, great brand, and I would highly recommend them. Now, if you want a cheaper version of this card, they do sell the UHS-1 card, which matches this, the V30 card, and that will give you pretty much standard speeds. But yeah, I'd highly recommend either of these cards from either of these companies. They've both been fantastic. You just want to make sure and buy them from a reputable shop so you don't get any, gray market cards or maybe a knockoff. Next is audio. And if you're gonna do stuff like what I do, where you're gonna be a little farther away from the Pocket 3 while you're talking, then you wanna make sure you have good audio. And it's part of the reason why I highly recommend the Creator Combo is not only do you get this great battery pack, or the battery extension handle, which gives you a lot of extra runtime, but you also get the DJI Mic 2, which gives you fantastic audio in heavy windy conditions even, basically from any distance to, close by to a few hundred feet away, you'll still get great audio, plus the internal recording comes in really handy if you want to use that. But you can also use any mic that plugs in via USB-C, including the Rode Wireless series or the DJI Mic 1 series will also work. It's just that you get this wireless audio paired straight to the camera. You don't have to worry about any sort of plugins or anything like that, but you can plug in pretty much any USB-C wireless mic here, or in the case of maybe you don't plan on going very far away, this is a Sennheiser USB-C lav, and as soon as I plug it in here, you can see now that it's connected and running on the Pocket 3. So this will give you good audio as well. It's just that you're tethered. I much prefer the wireless setup, but if you have a Rode Wireless Pro or DJI Pocket or the DJI Mic 1 or 2 series, you can plug it in just like you could anything else. In fact, if you have the 2 series, you can pair it directly with this. And a benefit of the mic 2 is that you can remote control, start and stop recording, turn the noise reduction on and off, a lot of features like that using the mic as a remote control, which is actually pretty handy if you're going to be walking into and out of scenes like I do quite a bit with this system. Hey, if you're enjoying this video or getting value out of it, then consider subscribing. My goal is to help other solo creators like myself make good decisions when it comes to purchasing gear and get the most out of their gear by giving you tips and tutorials on how to use it. The next accessory you're probably going to want are ND filters, because if you're shooting in bright sun, your shutter speed will ramp way up, and if you want any sort of natural motion blur, you definitely will need some ND filters with this camera. That being said, I have shot a lot without any ND filters, and the image quality coming out of the Pocket 3 is still great for pretty much anything you're going to post on social media. The one thing I do love about this freewell kit is it gives you a ton of options to where, especially if you're doing time lapses, you can really slow the shutter speed down and get a nice blurry motion. But I also really like the mist filter that gives you just a little bit of a softness and a little bit of glow and halation around lights, which gives it just kind of a nice look. This freewell kit is great, but the only issue with this freewell kit is that when you put them on the Pocket 3, it can't park the gimbal properly. So pretty much all these filters, you just snap on the front like that, they lock in place. But then if you go to turn the Pocket 3 off, the gimbal will go to sleep, not be able to lock, and stop like that. But I have good news. I found a filter. It's from K&F. It's this tiny little filter here, which is a variable ND filter. They sell it in the 1, 2, or 2 to 5 stop variety and the 6 to 9 stop variety. And the great thing about this is not only does it give you some flexibility, it gives you just a little bit of darker footage. Same thing as everything else. Snaps magnetically on the front, and you're good to go. But when you turn the gimbal off, check this out. It will close and park with the ND filter on. So you don't need to take the ND filter off. You can then put it inside the case easily and have everything packed up nicely, ready to go. And then when you're ready to pull the Pocket 3 out, turn it on, you're good to go. The ND filter's in place and you can go. Now, Freewell also makes a version of this. The K&F filter is quite a bit less expensive. I'll try and include links to both down there just for whatever your budget might detail. I haven't tested the Freewell one to see if it actually blocks the closing of the gimbal or the parking of the gimbal, but obviously the K&F one does not. So if you want a filter you can leave on there, there you go. This K&F one will fit inside here. If you don't want to run around with it on the gimbal, so you're running around at night or something like that, you can put the filter down in there and it locks in nicely and keeps it safe down inside of the gimbal case. Last but definitely not least is power. Because the Pocket 3 does do a good job of lasting quite a bit, but if you're going to be filming or taking photos all day with it, it will run out of power eventually. And that's where I've started carrying this Anchor-made power bank here. It has 2 power delivery ports, a standard USB-A port. It's just a really nice, I've loved Anchor products for years, used them for a long time, but this one has been fantastic. This is a pretty large one, 20,000 milliamp hours, so it'll give you lots of recharges or keeping your gimbal charged while you're doing, longer shoots or maybe, long time lapses. This has been my favorite because it's small, compact, fits easily in all my camera bags, doesn't take up a lot of space, but gives me a lot of ability to recharge pretty much any device I'm carrying with me. Next, you're going to watch this video right here to see how you can get the best footage out of your Pocket 3. I'll see you over there. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below. Join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we can have more of a conversation. Maybe I can answer questions I didn't get to in this video. I'll see you again soon in the next one. Cheers.